The message from Captain Arden reached Earth at dawn. The sun had barely risen when Earth Command received the broken transmission. Static filled half the screen, sparks flashed behind the captain, and alarms screamed in the background. Captain Arden's voice was tense, forced, almost shaking. "This is the ECS Valiant. The Galactic Council has betrayed us. The meeting was a trap. They tried to destroy the entire fleet. Earth must prepare for war." Then the message ended. For a moment, the command room fell into thick silence. Officers stared at each other, trying to understand what they had just heard. No one wanted to believe it. The Council had been humanity's ally for almost 50 years. They helped humans join the galactic community, learn new technologies, explore new worlds. Why would they betray Earth? Admiral Rhea Donovan, leader of Earth's Defense Command, stepped forward. Her face was calm, but her voice was firm. "We need the full recording. And we need confirmation from other colonies." But she already knew the truth. She could see it in the captain's eyes. He was not lying. The Council had turned on them. Strange attacks began. Within the next hour, reports started flooding into Earth Command. A message from Mars. "Council fleets surrounding our orbit. They are demanding we surrender." A message from Titan Colony. "Unknown ships attacking civilian stations. We need help." A message from Europa Research Base. "Council forces landing troops. They are taking scientists." Admiral Rhea clenched her fists. It was happening everywhere at the same time. This was not an accident. This was not a misunderstanding. This was a coordinated betrayal. The Council had planned this. She turned to her officers. "Get me every fleet in the system. We're moving to defensive formation immediately." Earth tries to reach the Council. Earth Command sent emergency messages to the Galactic Council headquarters. "Why are you attacking us? Stand down your forces. We demand an explanation." For 2 hours there was no answer. Then finally a message came. The image of High Chancellor Vorex appeared, leader of the Galactic Council for more than 70 years. His voice was calm, too calm as if he had practiced the speech many times. "People of Earth, we regret to inform you that your species has become a threat to galactic peace. You have advanced too quickly. You have grown too strong. The Council has decided, you must be contained." Admiral Rhea stared at the screen, shocked. "Contained?" she repeated. The Chancellor continued, "Your colonies will be absorbed into Council territory. Your fleets will be dismantled. Your population will follow our guidance. This decision is final." Then the message ended. The command room erupted into chaos. One officer shouted, "They want to enslave us." Another yelled, "This is war. They just declared war." Others cursed, slammed desks, or stared silently at the floor. Admiral Rhea inhaled slowly, then raised her voice. "Quiet." The room fell still. "This is no mistake. The Council planned this for years. And now they think we will simply surrender." She looked out the window at Earth, bright and peaceful through the glass. "They have forgotten something important." Her voice grew cold. "Humans don't kneel." The truth behind the betrayal. Inside the Council's secret chambers, a different conversation was happening. Chancellor Vorex stood with other Council members around a holographic display showing Earth's growing population, expanding colonies and rising fleets. One counselor said, "Humans triple their power every decade. They invent new weapons faster than any species." Another added, "They adapt to every environment. War, disease, pressure, it only makes them stronger." A third whispered, almost fearful, "If we wait 10 more years they will surpass us." Vorex nodded. "That is why we act now. Before they become unstoppable." He tapped the hologram. Earth turned red. No mercy. No hesitation. Humanity must be erased or controlled. But none of them noticed the small recording drone hiding in the corner. The truth was about to reach the wrong ears. The Valiant sends evidence. A day later, the ECS Valiant finally arrived near a human outpost. The ship was burning, half its hull melted, but still holding together. Inside, Captain Arden barely stood on his feet as he brought a data chip to the comms officer. "This contains proof," he said weakly. "Everything the Council said. Everything they planned. Earth needs to see it." He collapsed afterward, exhausted and injured. The comms officer inserted the chip. A projection appeared, recordings of the Council's secret meeting, their fear of humans, and their plan to destroy Earth before it grows stronger. The crew fell silent as they watched. One officer whispered, "They want to wipe us out." Another murmured, "All because we are different." The comms officer looked at the burning stars outside and spoke. They think they understand humanity. He clenched his fists. But they know nothing about us. Earth chooses its path. Once Admiral Rhea viewed the recordings, she gave a single order. Activate Operation Iron Sky. All fleets return to Earth. Prepare for full-scale war. Lights turned red across the command center. Sirens activated in every colony. Every soldier, pilot, mechanic, and civilian heard the same message. Earth has been betrayed. Humanity will fight. The Council had lied. They had attacked first. They believed humans would break. They were wrong. This was only the beginning. After Admiral Rhea Donovan gave the order, Earth's fleets moved fast. Warships, battleships, and scout ships left docking bays across Earth, Mars, Titan, and other human colonies. They gathered under a single banner, Operation Iron Sky. The entire human race prepared to defend itself. Captain Arden of the ECS Valiant lay in a medical ward, wounds fresh and deep. Yet his mind raced. He replayed the data chips recordings in his head, the council leaders, their secret meetings, their cold words. The proof was now in human hands. But that was only the start. A terrifying discovery. In a secret intelligence room on Earth Command, scientists and officers studied council documents recovered from the Valiant. Among them was a holographic projection of a massive superweapon. The weapon's name sent chills across the room, the Starbreaker. Dr. Lin Mei, a leading astrophysicist, explained to Admiral Rhea and her advisors, "This is not just a bomb. The Starbreaker can destroy an entire star system. Its power core harnesses gravitational fields, dark matter, and a plasma reactor. When fully activated, it can collapse a star or create a supernova-like explosion." Every face in the room went pale. Rhea's voice dropped low. "They plan to destroy us, all of humanity, by destroying our sun systems?" Dr. May nodded. "Yes. The Council fears human growth. They want to end us by erasing our home worlds. A dangerous plan." Knowing the threat, Admiral Rhea made a bold plan. She selected a small strike team to infiltrate the facility where the Council was building the Starbreaker. The team included military officers, engineers, scientists, and Captain Arden himself, even though he was still weak. Arden's eyes were fierce. "If we don't stop this weapon, Earth will not survive. I will go." Rhea studied him. "Be careful. But your presence will help our people believe. They saw your message. They know." The strike team left in a stealth transport ship, traveling toward a distant, uncharted system. According to the stolen holograms, this system was supposedly neutral. But that was a lie. The Starbreaker facility hid there, far from prying eyes. Council's secret base. When the team arrived, they saw the installation for the first time, a huge space fortress built around a dead star. Metal towers reached toward empty space. Energy rings spun around core chambers. It looked like a living machine, massive, deadly, and silent. Arden felt a cold dread. They built it here, far from us. They knew we would never find it, until now. Dr. May spoke softly through her helmet comms. "We must proceed carefully. Any wrong move, they will fire Starbreaker." In the darkness, the strike team launched small stealth drones. The drones slipped past perimeter defenses, scanning for power nodes, security towers, and weapon arrays. They relayed every detail to the human ship. Commander Vance, the mission leader, whispered, "We have 3 main objectives: plant explosives on critical power conduits, download full schematics, and escape alive." Arden nodded. "Understood. Let's move." Inside the fortress. Inside the base, tunnels of steel corridors stretched in every direction. The corridor lights glowed dim and the air tasted cold. An eerie hum filled the walls. The power of the weapon spoke in every vibration. Arden and his team moved quietly. Engineers among them carried tools to hack into control panels. Scientists carried small data pads. Soldiers held rifles ready. At one junction they found a door marked Core Access, High Security. A council guard stood there, scanning IDs. Arden raised his voice carefully, "We are internal inspectors from the Galactic Council. We carry authorization codes." The guard looked at their forged IDs. The tension was thick. For a long moment he hesitated. Then he slid his scanner and the door opened with a hiss. Once inside, the team confronted a massive chamber. In the center, the Starbreaker's power core, a glowing sphere of compressed energy surrounded by rotating ring structures. The hum was deafening. Dr. May gasped, "This is worse than we thought. The core uses dark matter coils. It's unstable, volatile. One miscalculation, and it could go supernova." Arden looked around, his face hard. "We plant the charges. We do the download. Now." tension and sabotage. While the engineers worked, one council technician entered the chamber, a young alien scientist. He stopped, surprised to see them. Arden raised his weapon, but did not shoot immediately. The scientist's voice trembled. "Why are you here? If you destroy this, all of us die." Arden answered gently, "We do it to save more lives. Your council betrayed all of us." The technician hesitated. Then he nodded slowly. He helped the engineers locate the most critical conduits. With his help, planting the explosives became faster and more precise. At the same time, the science team linked their data pad to the core's control computer. Schematics, power outputs, control algorithms, they transferred all the data. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Security breach," a voice echoed in the corridors. The infiltrators had been discovered. The escape. Explosives were set. The team rushed out. Arden gave the detonator to Dr. May. She hesitated for a second, looking at the glowing core. She pressed it. The chamber shook violently. Sparks flew. The core flickered, energy lines cracked, and a low roar echoed. Outside, the strike team sprinted down steel corridors as security troopers gave chase. Explosions grew behind them. The facility was collapsing. Arden led the way to the exit hangar. Their stealth transport waited. Soldiers held off pursuers while the scientists ran with their data pads full of stolen secrets. The transport launched just as the base's outer ring exploded. A massive shockwave shook space. In the distance, the Starbreaker's power core erupted in a controlled chain reaction. Not a full supernova, but enough to disable the weapon facility. Dr. May whispered over comms, voice trembling, "We got everything. The schematics, the weapon design, all of it." Arden replied, "Good. This is the proof we must bring home. Return to Earth with truth." As the transport ship flew away, the team watched the ruins of the base. The Starbreaker installation lay in pieces, fragments of metal and energy rings drifting into space. Commander Vance said, "We hit them where it hurts. We disabled them. And we have the plans." Arden nodded. "Now Earth and our allies know. They will know how serious this threat is." Back on Earth, the command center received the data. The human leadership watched the holograms, the schematics, the recordings of the base. Their faces were serious, but in their eyes burned resolve. Admiral Rhea whispered, "This changes everything. We no longer fight blindly. Now we fight with purpose." Humanity's revenge had found its weapon, knowledge. And with that knowledge, Earth would fight not just to survive, but to win. The destruction of the Starbreaker facility sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For the first time, the Galactic Council felt fear. Humanity had survived their secret assassination attempt. Worse, humans had discovered the truth. On Earth, the command center operated non-stop. Screens glowed with star maps, fleet routes, and intelligence from the strike team. Every officer, engineer, and analyst worked with burning determination. Admiral Rhea Donovan stood before a giant holographic map of Council territory. Her jaw was tight, her eyes sharp. "Now we strike back," she said. Around her, commanders nodded. Humanity was no longer running. Not hiding. Not begging. Now they were fighting. A new plan, Operation Dawnfire. Admiral Rhea announced the next phase of war. Operation Dawnfire. The goal was simple but dangerous. Hit the Council before they regroup. Destroy their communication hubs, fuel stations, and supply routes. Break their power. Commander Tarek, leader of Earth's Mars fleet, spoke first. "We strike fast and vanish. They will never know where we hit next." The plan required full cooperation from all human colonies: Mars, Titan, Europa, Ganymede, and the Outer Belts. For once, every human world was united. Humanity had one thought: if the Council wanted war, they would get war. The first strike, the Council's relay station. Captain Arden, recovering but still fierce, led the first mission. He stood aboard the ECS Valiant, now repaired and upgraded after its near destruction. His new exo-armor was dark, heavy, and powered by experimental tech scavenged from the Council facility. Arden stepped onto the bridge. "Set course for the Sierra relay station," he ordered. "We move in silent mode." The Sierra station was one of the Council's main communication hubs. From there, they sent orders to fleets across the galaxy. If Earth destroyed it, the Council's coordination would collapse. The Valiant and its escort ships approached under stealth shields. The station floated ahead, a huge metal ring structure with glowing blue towers. Lieutenant Harris whispered, "Sir, enemy patrols detected. But they haven't seen us yet." Arden nodded. "Good. Prepare EMP torpedoes." The torpedoes were launched, silent, unseen. When they hit, a massive pulse spread across the station like a ripple of white light. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. Defense turrets powered down. Arden's voice boomed. Now. All ships, strike. Human warships burst from stealth mode like wolves from fog. Lasers sliced through metal. Railguns tore through defense platforms. In minutes, the relay station was burning. The Council fleet tried to respond, but with comms disabled, they were confused, slow, disorganized. Earth's ships tore through them. Target eliminated, Harris said. Arden nodded. Good. Let's move. Next target. The first strike was complete. Humanity celebrated around the solar system. The Galactic Council panicked. Retaliation across the stars. Operation Dawnfire continued non-stop. Mars fleets attacked Council fuel depots. Titan ships destroyed supply convoys. Europa squadrons hit factories producing Council drones. Earth's Black Ops teams infiltrated science labs and stole advanced tech. Each victory made humans stronger, and the Council weaker. But the Council did not stay silent. They launched their own retaliation. A fleet of heavy dreadnoughts appeared near Titan's orbit. The sky above the moon glowed red from their cannons. Commander Isla of Titan Defense shouted, "Shields at maximum. All batteries fire." The battle was brutal. Titan cities shook. Ice crusts cracked from shockwaves. But humans refused to back down. When reinforcements from Mars arrived, the Council fleet was finally forced to retreat. Titan survived, barely. Council divided. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, chaos spread. Voices shouted. Fists struck tables. Some alien leaders demanded a full-scale extermination of humans. Others feared humanity now too much. One counselor screamed, "We should have finished them decades ago." Another answered, "You fools. Your secret plan failed. Now Earth knows everything." The Council was breaking apart. Their unity, once unquestioned, was gone. Humanity makes allies. Not all alien races supported the Council's plan. Many species were oppressed or ignored by them for years. Some secretly admired humanity's courage. One such species, the Valorians, contacted Earth. Their representative, a tall silver-skinned alien named Kael'Tor, spoke to Admiral Rhea through hologram. "We do not wish for human extinction," Kael'Tor said. "We wish for freedom. Like you." Rhea studied him carefully. "Why now? Why help us?" Kael'Tor lowered his head. "Because your bravery inspires us. You stand against giants, and you do not fall." Humans and Valorians formed an alliance. Other races watched. Some hesitated. Some prepared to join. Humanity was no longer alone. A dangerous new intelligence. 2 weeks after Operation Dawnfire began, Dr. May rushed into the command center, holding a trembling data pad. "Admiral," she said out of breath. "We decoded the Deeper Starbreaker files. There is something you must see." Rhea frowned. "What is it?" May projected a hologram. A new image appeared. A massive Council warship unlike anything seen before. Dark metal, glowing veins of energy, a terrifying cannon mounted at its core. The name on the file. Omega-class Eradicator, Project Final Dawn. Everyone froze. Arden, watching from a side screen, whispered, "They have another weapon." May nodded. "Stronger than the Starbreaker. If they deploy it, entire fleets will vanish." Rhea's eyes hardened. "Then we attack before it becomes operational." Her voice echoed through the chamber. "Prepare for Phase 2. Humanity had struck first. The Council would soon strike harder. But humans weren't done. They were just getting started." News of the Council's new superweapon spread through Earth Command like a cold wave. Officers, engineers, and soldiers paused in their work, staring at the holographic image of the massive warship. The Omega-class Eradicator. A ship so large it looked like a floating moon. A ship designed for one purpose, to erase entire civilizations. Admiral Rhea Donovan stood at the center of the war room, her expression calm but tense. Around her, commanders whispered in shock. Commander Tarek muttered, "This thing, it's beyond anything we've seen. If they finish it, they will control the galaxy." Captain Arden, appearing via secure hololink, asked quietly, "What do we know about its power source?" Dr. May zoomed the hologram. "This cannon," she said, pointing at the glowing core, "uses compressed stellar plasma. It can fire a beam hotter than a sun's surface. A single shot could wipe out an entire fleet." Silence fell. Then Admiral Rhea spoke. "Humanity has come too far to die now. We will stop this weapon, no matter what it takes." Her voice carried through every speaker, every screen, every station. Humanity prepared for the hardest battle yet. The Council's secret construction site. The Eradicator was being built in a hidden system known as Vraxis 9, a lawless region the Council kept off official maps. According to the decoded Starbreaker files, the ship was only 60% complete. But even half finished, it was dangerous. Arden studied the map. If we attack too late, they will finish the main cannon. If we attack too early, the defense grid will crush us. Admiral Rhea nodded. We need intel. A scouting mission. Everyone looked toward the one pilot famous for slipping into impossible places. Lieutenant Mira Solis. Fast, smart, fearless. Her ship, the ECS Phantom, a stealth fighter tuned for deep infiltration. She saluted Rhea. I'll get as close as I can. Rhea placed a hand on her shoulder. Be careful. And return home. Mira gave a small smile. I always do. But even she did not know what awaited her in Vraxis 9. Into the void. The Phantom warped into the Vraxis system. Everything was dark, filled with debris, broken moons, and drifting asteroids. The place felt dead, abandoned by time. Then she saw it. Her breath caught. The Eradicator was huge, larger than human sensors predicted. It floated inside a protective ring of metal arms and energy shields. Thousands of workers, drones and council engineers, swarmed around it like insects. Mira whispered, "By Earth, it's a monster." She activated silent scan mode, gathering data on structural points, shield frequencies and weak zones. But the closer she got, the more she realized something horrifying. The main cannon, the core reactor, the armor plating, they were almost complete. Much faster than scientists estimated. A cold voice echoed over her comms. Unknown vessel detected. Identify immediately. Mira froze. The council had seen her. Alarms blared across the shipyard. Fighters launched. Turrets activated. The Eradicator's partial systems powered up, glowing like waking fire. Mira cursed and pulled the Phantom into a sharp dive. A desperate escape. Laser beams sliced the darkness behind her. Council interceptors closed in quickly. The Phantom shook violently as debris exploded. Mira forced her ship through a narrow asteroid corridor. Come on, baby, hold together. Her hands moved fast, flipping switches, rerouting power, overcharging engines. She darted through rocks and metal fragments. One interceptor crashed behind her. But another hit her wing. The Phantom spiraled, alarms screaming. She fought to stabilize it. Not dying here, not today. With a final burst of speed, she reached safe warp distance and jumped. The Phantom vanished in a flash of blue light. The truth reaches Earth. Hours later, Mira limped into Earth Command, limping herself, uniform burned at the edges. Technicians carried the damaged Phantom away. She approached the command table and placed the data drive down. It's almost ready, she said, voice heavy. The Eradicator will be fully armed in weeks. Rhea clenched her jaw. Then we attack before that. Mira added, there's more. The ship is protected by a plasma shield grid. Direct attacks won't work. Silence. Then Dr. May stepped forward. But if we overload the grid with enough energy, we can shut it down. How? Arden asked. May looked at Rhea with determined eyes. We create a false star. Everyone blinked. What? Tarek asked. May nodded. A controlled microsun, using dark matter coils we took from the council facility. If we detonate it near the shield grid, it will flood their systems. The shield collapses. Then our fleets attack. It was insane. Dangerous. Nearly impossible. Admiral Rhea smiled slowly. Let's do it. Preparing for war. All around the solar system, humans worked harder than ever. Mars engineers built the dark matter device. Titan Labs produced high-output energy cells. Earth refineries forged new armor for ships. The Valorians sent reinforcements, sleek alien cruisers and powerful plasma artillery. Humanity's largest fleet in history formed around Earth's orbit. The United Terran Armada. Arden stood on the bridge of the Valiant, now upgraded again with Valerian tech. He felt the weight of the coming battle. Mira joined him, arm wrapped from injuries. You ready? She asked. Arden nodded. Are you? Mira smirked. Always. Outside the window, thousands of ships floated, human, Valerian, and allies who wished to break the Council's tyranny. The final battle was near. Admiral Rhea's voice echoed through every ship. Humanity was betrayed. Humanity was attacked. Now humanity rises. Today, the Council will learn who we really are. Her words carried fire. Every pilot, every soldier, every engineer felt it. Operation Dawnfire's final phase had begun. And deep in Vraxis 9, the Eradicator awakened. The United Terran Armada stood ready in the cold darkness of space. Thousands of ships, human cruisers, Martian destroyers, Titan gunships, Valerian plasma carriers, formed a massive curved formation around Earth's orbit. This was the largest fleet humans had ever created. Admiral Rhea Donovan stood at the command platform aboard the flagship ECS Aurora, the most advanced ship in human history. Her officers watched holographic screens showing the enemy's location. Vraxis 9, home of the Eradicator. Rhea raised her voice, calm but powerful. Today we fight not for revenge only. We fight for every colony, every family, every planet that wants freedom. The Galactic Council betrayed us. Now, we end their tyranny. A wave of determination spread through every ship. Jump to Vraxis 9, she commanded. The fleet vanished into warp. Arrival in enemy territory. Space twisted, light bent, and the Terran Armada appeared at the edge of Vraxis 9. The view was terrifying. The Eradicator floated like a mechanical god, a giant black titan surrounded by a glowing shield grid. Construction arms still clung to it, welding its metal skin. Even unfinished, it was enormous. Admiral Rhea whispered, "So this is the monster they built." Then alarms blared. Council fleets poured from behind asteroids and dark space clouds. Hundreds of enemy ships, all waiting for the humans to arrive. Captain Arden on the Valiant steadied himself. They knew we were coming. Mira Solis smirked. Let them try. The enemy opened fire. And the biggest battle of the century began. Chaos in the void. Bright beams, plasma bolts, and railgun rounds filled the darkness like a storm of fire. Human and Valerian ships surged forward. Protect the Titan carriers, someone shouted. Red Squadron, break their flank. Enemy frigates incoming. The Valiant led its squadron straight into the heart of the enemy formation. Arden's voice was calm, even as explosions shook his ship. All ships, form defensive wedge. Follow my vector. The squadron moved with perfect coordination, slicing through Council destroyers. Mira, in her newly repaired Phantom fighter, flew circles around enemy interceptors. She shot 3 down in seconds. Come on, I'm just getting started, she said, diving through a blast wave. The Council responded with brutal force. Their heavy cruisers launched dark matter torpedoes. One torpedo slammed into a human battleship, splitting it apart. The crew screamed over the comms. Rhea clenched her fists. We must take down the Eradicator's shield. Prepare the microsun device. Deploying the impossible weapon. Dr. May's voice came through the fleet-wide channel. All units brace. Activating dark matter coils. A small drone ship, holding the artificial microsun, moved toward the Eradicator's shield grid. Its energy core glowed brighter and brighter, heating space around it. Council ships fired desperately to stop it. Titan gunships formed a wall around the drone, taking hits, losing hulls but refusing to let it fall. Almost there, May whispered. The drone hit the shield and erupted into blinding light. A miniature sun exploded in silence, sending waves of radiation into the shield grid. The whole system flickered, shook, overloaded, and collapsed. Arden yelled, "The shield is down. All ships, fire everything you have." Human and Valerian cannons roared together. For the first time, the Eradicator was vulnerable. The Eradicator awakens. But it did not stay helpless for long. Inside the massive superweapon, engines roared to life. Its armor lit up with red energy veins. The main cannon began to glow, charging power. A voice echoed across all comm channels, cold and robotic. "Humanity, you have chosen extinction." The Eradicator fired. A beam of blinding white plasma shot across space, so powerful it cut through 3 cruisers instantly and carved a path through an asteroid. Even Rhea felt fear. "We cannot let it fire again," she shouted. Arden Mira hit its cannon core. The suicide run. Arden piloted the Valiant forward, ignoring the warnings of his officers. "Captain, will be torn apart." "We have no choice," he said. "If the Eradicator fires again, we lose." Mira flew alongside him in the Phantom, weaving through debris. "You're not doing this alone," she said. Arden smiled faintly. "I knew you'd say that." The Eradicator's cannon began charging again. Energy spiraled around the barrel like a hurricane of fire. Human ships launched everything: torpedoes, plasma missiles, kinetic warheads, but the Eradicator's armor was too thick. Arden spoke to all ships. We need to hit the exposed vent under the cannon. That's the weakness. Mira dove first, dodging turrets and beams. She fired 2 high-impact plasma rounds. The shots hit the vent. Small damage, but not enough. Arden, your turn, she shouted. The Valiant soared up through the chaos, engines burning red-hot. Inside the bridge, alarms screamed. Impact warning. Armor failing. But Arden kept going. Fire the railguns, he ordered. The Valiant's cannons fired 3 massive tungsten rounds directly into the cannon vent. Boom. The Eradicator shook violently. Its cannon sputtered. Flames erupted along its hull. Mira cheered. We did it. But then her smile faded. The Eradicator was not defeated. It was angry. The Titan ship began rotating slowly, aiming its entire armored front at the Valiant and Phantom. Arden whispered, Mira, get out of here. She shouted back, voice breaking, not without you. Before anyone could escape, the Eradicator fired a massive shockwave blast. The screen went white. Human ships were thrown in all directions. When the light faded, the Valiant floated silently, heavily damaged, fires burning across its hull. Admiral Rhea watched in horror. Arden. Mira, respond. Static. Only static. The Eradicator turned its weapon toward the Terran Armada again. The battle was not over. But humanity was now on the edge of defeat. The battlefield around Vraxis 9 was chaos. Burning ships drifted like broken stars. Smoke and shattered metal filled the void. The shockwave from the Eradicator's blast had thrown half the Terran Armada into disarray. Admiral Rhea Donovan stood frozen for a moment, eyes fixed on the screen showing the crippled remains of the ECS Valiant. Captain Arden. Mira, respond. Her voice shook. Only static answered. Commander Tarek whispered, we may have lost them. Rhea closed her eyes for 1 second, only one, to control her grief. Then she straightened, her voice turning hard as steel. We are not done. Not while a single human ship is still flying. We fight. All across the fleet, scattered ships reformed lines, responding to her command. Humanity would not fall. Not today. The Eradicator advances. The massive Council superweapon turned, its armor glowing red from internal energy. The cannon barrel, though damaged, began pulling in plasma again. The weapon was recharging. Rhea's tactical officer shouted, if it fires now, Admiral, it will destroy our entire center line. Rhea clenched her jaw. Then we hit it again before the shot completes. But there was a problem. Most Terran heavy weapons were offline. Titan carriers had lost half their launch bays. Valerian cruisers were heavily damaged. The Armada was wounded. The Council fleet, though weakened, still outnumbered them. The Eradicator's voice echoed coldly. Humanity. You resist beyond predicted limits. But resistance ends now. Rhea glared at the screen. We'll see about that. A weak signal. Suddenly, a faint voice crackled through the comms. Aurora, this is Valiant. Rhea's head snapped up. Arden? Arden, is that you? More static. Then words broken but alive. Mira, injured, but alive. Valiant, still operational, limited weapons. Relief hit Rhea's chest like a wave of light. Arden, fall back. Your ship can't take more hits. But Arden's answer was quiet, steady, and full of fire. No, Admiral. We are not finished. Not until the Eradicator is down. Myra's weak voice came next. And if that monster thinks we're going to die quietly, they don't know humans. Rhea couldn't help but smile, just a little. Then prepare yourselves, she said. We are rallying for a full counterattack. The turning point. The Valerian flagship opened communication. Kael'tor appeared, silver skin glowing faintly. Humans have shown bravery beyond calculation, he said. We stand with you. Our fleet will protect your left flank. Rhea nodded. Thank you, Kael'tor. Together, we end this. Allied ships moved into formation. Martian dreadnoughts powered up railguns. Titan carriers launched their last reserve fighters. Valerian plasma destroyers charged their cores. The Terran Armada reformed like a fist pulling back for a final punch. The cannon charges again. The Eradicator's main cannon surged with violent light. Plasma spiraled around it like a storm. A tactical officer shouted, 30 seconds until it fires. Rhea issued the most dangerous order of the war. All ships full speed. Direct assault. We hit the cannon core before it completes the charge. The fleet surged forward. Enemy fire rained down. Explosions lit the void. Human ships dodged, weaved, took hits and kept pushing. Arden piloted the damaged Valiant, sparks falling around him. His voice was gravelly, closing the distance. "Mira, you still with me?" "Yes," Mira said, holding her bleeding side. "Just don't crash into anything." Arden smiled faintly. "No promises." Inside the Eradicator. Meanwhile, inside the Council warship, engineers panicked as warning lights blinked. Shield grid offline. Plasma stabilizers failing. Cannon overheating. High Counselor Serix, the architect of the weapon, snarled at his officers. "Fire the cannon now. Even unstable, fire it." "But sir, it could destroy us too." Serix slammed a fist onto the console. "I don't care. Humanity must be erased." The cannon glowed brighter, louder, trembling under its own power. The final charge. Arden's eyes were fierce. Valiant, all remaining power to engines. The ship shot forward like a burning spear. Mira flew above him in the Phantom, pushing her wounded body to its limit. Behind them, the entire Terran armada unleashed a storm of fire, plasma, missiles, railgun rounds, slamming into the Eradicator's hull. The superweapon shook violently. Rhea shouted from the Aurora. "Arden, Mira, now. Hit the cannon core." The Eradicator's cannon roared to life, brighter than a star. Arden shouted, "For Earth." Mira screamed, "For everyone they tried to kill." They fired together. Valiant's last railgun round. Phantom's final plasma lance. Both hit the damaged vent of the cannon. Boom. A huge explosion tore across the Eradicator's front. The cannon sputtered, glowed, then detonated inward. The shockwave was massive. The Eradicator began breaking apart. Serix screamed as flames engulfed the bridge. "No, no, this cannot." But it could. And it was. The Eradicator, the Council's unstoppable titan, was dying. But victory isn't free. Admiral Rhea watched the explosion, tears forming in her eyes. "Is it over?" someone whispered. Rhea shook her head slowly. "No, not yet." The Eradicator was collapsing. But a final, massive energy surge was building in its core, a self-destruct reaction powerful enough to destroy everything nearby. Her voice dropped to a whisper filled with fear. "If that thing goes off, half our fleet will be wiped out." The battle was won. But survival? That was still unknown. The Eradicator was dying. Its broken frame drifted in space, torn open like a wounded beast. Fire burst from deep cracks in its armor. The once mighty superweapon now looked like a collapsing star. Alarms blared across the Terran fleet as a growing energy spike appeared on every scanner. Admiral Rhea Donovan's voice was tight with dread. "The core is overloading. The explosion will destroy everything within 5,000 kilometers." Commander Tarek whispered, "Admiral, that includes us." Rhea looked at the screens showing the Valiant and the Phantom, both dangerously close to the burning Titan. "Arden, Mira, you must pull back now." But the reply came weak and broken. "This is, Kaish, the Valiant. Engines failing, stabilizers gone." Myra's voice followed, soft with pain. "My thrusters, not responding." Rhea clenched the railing with both hands. "No, not after everything. You are not dying out there." She turned to her crew. "Prepare rescue ships. Now." But the tactical officer shook his head. "Ma'am, if anyone gets near the Eradicator during the explosion, they won't survive. Not even our fastest escorts." Rhea felt the weight of those words like a blade to her heart. Inside the Eradicator, High Counselor Serix crawled across the burning bridge of his collapsing warship. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Smoke filled the air. He grabbed a console, coughing. "Emergency escape pod, activate." The computer answered with a cold tone. "Denied. Structural failure." Serix stared in disbelief. "No. I am the Council. I cannot fall." But the universe did not care. The floor shook violently. The heat grew hotter than fire. Serix screamed with fury and fear as the ship around him turned into a furnace. The Council's greatest leader died with his own weapon. Arden's last stand. Aboard the Valiant, Arden wiped blood from his eyebrow. Panels were exploding. Systems failing. The ship sagged toward the Eradicator's melting core. He whispered to himself, "Come on, not like this." He reached for the controls, but they sparked, burning his hand. "Mira," he said over the comms, voice shaking, "if you still hear me, I'm glad I met you." Through the static, her voice came back, gentle and weak. "You're not saying goodbye, Arden?" "Not yet." She tried to restart her thrusters, but the Phantom shook violently. A metal beam had crushed part of the rear engine. Smoke filled her cockpit. Still she refused to let go. Rhea will find a way, Mira whispered, holding her bleeding side. She always does. Rhea's decision. On the bridge of the Aurora, silence had fallen. Everyone waited for Rhea's order. The explosion countdown climbed higher. There was no time. No plan. No safe path. But Rhea Donovan was not a woman who accepted impossible. She took a deep breath. All ships, she commanded, form a defensive shell. Focus shields outward. We will absorb the shockwave. Her officers stared at her in disbelief. Admiral, Tarek said gently, if we try to shield the explosion, the fleet will be destroyed. Rhea's eyes were steady. And if we do nothing? Arden and Mira die. A long silence followed. Then one by one ships responded across the comms. Titan carrier Resolute, forming position. Valerian cruiser Cyril, aligning shields. Martian dreadnought Ironfall ready. ECS Aurora, standing firm. They did not hesitate. Because humans, and their allies, did not leave their own behind. The blast. The Eradicator's core reached critical mass. A light brighter than the sun lit the battlefield. Then, boom. A massive shockwave exploded outward in a ring of white fire. Ships vibrated violently. Shields strained. Some shattered. The Aurora groaned like a living creature. Hold! Rhea shouted. Hold the line. The shockwave slammed into them, bending metal, ripping through energy shields. For several seconds the universe was only fire and noise. Then, silence. The wave passed. The bridge lights flickered back on. Smoke drifted through the air. We survived, Tarek said, staring in shock. But Rhea did not celebrate. She stared forward, eyes fixed on the dark void. Find them, she ordered softly. Find Arden and Mira. Hope in the dark. A faint signal appeared on the scanners. Reading escape beacons, an officer cried. 2 of them. Rhea exhaled a breath she'd been holding. Lock on and retrieve them. Rescue shuttles sped out. Minutes felt like hours. Then finally. Admiral, we have them. Rhea closed her eyes, tears slipping down her cheek. Bring them home. Aftermath. Arden and Mira were carried to the Aurora's medbay. Arden's first sight upon waking was a blurry ceiling. Then Mira leaning over him, smiling weakly, her side wrapped in bandages. You made it, she whispered. Arden managed a small smile. We made it. Outside the window, the remains of the Council fleet drifted in silence. The war was over. A new future. Later, Rhea addressed the entire Terran Alliance from the Aurora's bridge. Today, humanity proved something the Council never understood, she said. That strength does not come from size, or numbers, or fear. It comes from standing together. From protecting each other. From refusing to fall. All across the Alliance, people cheered. Humans. Valorants. Martians. Every world that had suffered under the Council's rule. Because the old galaxy had ended. And a new one was about to begin. Rhea looked at the stars, voice soft. The Council tried to erase us. She smiled. But instead, we changed the galaxy forever.